It is Vlog 74 coming to you from a bit of a ghost town here, downtown Reno. Thanks for joining me once again. An era where there are no casinos operating in the state of Nevada. Not something that I don't think anyone would have ever anticipated, but sure enough, that is the case. Governor Steve Sisolak ordering that a couple of weeks ago. So here we are. Something that I've certainly never seen in my lifetime, and probably neither have you. I think after JFK was assassinated in 1963, that was the only time that casinos shut down. They're the one business that are always open, but not the case right now, as you can see here in Reno and throughout the entire state and elsewhere due to the coronavirus pandemic. But as far as this vlog is concerned, I was in Wendover last time, as you saw. Thanks to those of you who watched that one. I had a lot of fun doing it. And that'll be the last session of live poker I played for quite some time. However, a week before that, I was able to play one session that I got on tape at the Peppermill. So let's get into some pretty interesting hands from a session of 3-5 that I played a couple of weeks back. A lot about OMCs on this vlog, and it's been established, I hope, that the way to beat OMCs is to bluff them in the right spots. And this may not have been the right spot, but I decided to try and do it anyway. It comes when an OMC is on the button and it folds around to him in a 3-5 no-limit game, and he raises to 35. So that should have been a signal to me that I probably should fold my 8-6 of hearts in the small blind, but I know this guy well enough that I think I can maneuver well against him in a number of different ways. So I elect to make that call. So at 70 in the pot, the flop comes ace 10-3 with 2 spades. I check, and he bets $30 less than his pre-flop raise sizing, which indicated to me that he does not like that ace. With that in mind, I check raise it to 80, and he folds pocket kings face up. Next hand comes when we get a limp under the gun +1, and I look down at pocket aces under the gun +2. I make it 25, sticking with my 4x +1 for the limper policy of pre-flop raising. The small blind is an aggressive player that I don't know well, but I've seen enough of him tonight to know that he's looking to blast off. He 3-bets to 90, and it folds back around to me, having lost a decent-sized pot to this same guy before I started filming. I had about $725 left after that hand in my stack, so I settle on a 4-bet sizing of $225, wanting him to think that he would still have some fold equity should he decide to 5-bet, which he does. He declares all in. So after I make the snap call, I make the mistake of turning my hand up, which, by the way, I wish was required in cash games, as I've said before. That's one thing I like better about tournaments. I think all-in should be shown. He ultimately does not show. The board runs out 9 high, so I never got a chance to see what he had. I have a feeling if he had pocket kings, he would have showed it. So I think ace-king's the most likely thing, and we take down a pot of just over $1,400. The next hand comes when a guy I know has some gamble to him sits down and limps under the gun. +1 raises to 25, and I pick up, once again, 8-6 of hearts. This time I have the button. I make the call. The limper calls the extra 20, so at 75 in it comes Jack 5-7 rainbow, giving me an open-ended straight draw. Under the gun, donk leads for 60. +1 folds, and it's back to me. I'm obviously not folding here. I consider a semi-bluff raise, given that I never thought that his lead out was all that strong, but I ultimately decide against it. So with 195 in, the turn is the 7 of diamonds, pairing the 7 and bringing in backdoor diamonds. Obviously not a great card for me, and he leads out for 95. Now he could definitely have some 7s here, but I still didn't think that he was very strong, and that there would be a multitude of ways in which I could win this pot on the river. So I call, and with 385 in, the river is the 4 of clubs, giving me the straight. Now I figured he would definitely be checking here with all of his jacks. He ends up betting out, though, for 135, and he has about 400 behind. So if I were to raise, and he would shove all in, it would be very difficult for me to escape if he did have a full house. I figured if he did have a jack, he would definitely fold to a raise. So if I raise, I would have to hope that he has specifically trip sevens or maybe a slow played overpair, which I never thought that he had. So I figured this was a pretty polarizing spot when it was all said and done. So with that in mind, I decided not to raise despite making my hand on the river. Ultimately, we have a $655 pot, and he says, good call. He shows down a really weird hand to not re-raise preflop with and then try a 3-barrel bluff with. He shows ace-king. So we take down another one.
All right, before we do anything else, we want to tell you that this vlog is once again brought to you by the fine folks at PPPoker. PPPoker is the earliest club-based app on the market. And I've said this before, if you want to set up a private game but not have to leave your house to do it, PPPoker is the way to go. And really, with what's going on right now, could there possibly be a better time to set up your own private game? I can't imagine so. Now, PPPoker might still feel pretty new to you, but they're actually celebrating their 4th anniversary, and they're leveling up their benefits to players. One of the cool things that you may not know about that they have launched if you're a tournament player is PPPoker Super Tournaments, and they have a lot of those going on. Definitely worth checking out. Now, PPPoker Super Tournaments are hosted by PPPoker unions and clubs, and they're weekly tournament series that run from Monday to Saturday, with big money typically guaranteed on Friday nights. So plenty of opportunities. Now, players can get points from every series of the PPPoker Super Tournament up until June 30th of this year, and the top 5 winners who get the most points will share a total of $12,500 of poker funds to play live poker and become PPPoker ambassadors. So if you haven't downloaded their app yet, do yourself a favor and check it out. It is an extremely slick app for smartphones now that you're not going to want to not have during these times. Click on the link in the description below to find out more about PPPoker. That's PPPoker. Level up with poker lovers.
Next hand comes when we get a $25 under the gun raise, and I pick up 6-7 of hearts in the low jack and make the call. We get one other caller, so with 75 in, the flop comes deuce 4-5 with 1 heart. Under the gun bets out for 60, so with an open ender and a backdoor flush draw, I make the call, and the other guy goes out. So with 205 in, the turn is another 4. Not a good card for me, as if I didn't hit my straight, I was hoping for another heart on the turn. My plan was to try a semi-bluff raise if that happened. Still, the fact that I have $1,500 left and he has me covered made this an irresistible call for me of $100. So I make the call, and with 405 in the pot, the river is the 9 of hearts, so I end up with complete air. I could definitely consider betting if check to me, but he ends up betting out for $165. A similar amount that I would have chosen, by the way, to bet with an overpair on the river there. I end up folding, and he ends up showing me pocket kings. So had I tried a bluff raise on the river there, I don't think it would have worked, nor do I think it would have worked at any point in the hand. So I think it was a good hand to try to hit and likely get paid off. If you do, didn't happen for me. Either way, after a couple of more hours of play, I was able to get up, book a win, and get out.
All right, so those were the last hands that I was able to capture before the casino shutdown here in Nevada. And it just kind of occurred to me that that last hand that I showed really sucked. Probably not my finest moments, and I kind of wish I ended on a stronger hand. But what can you do? I've always shown you the way that things play out for me, good or bad, on this vlog. So that last hand's an example of the latter. By the way, speaking of the coronavirus, I did a story for Colo 8 about the impact that it's having with regards to online poker, primarily here in Nevada, but it kind of plays itself out to online poker everywhere. and I wanted to talk to a couple of poker players for this story. It's always how it works with regards to news stories. You try to talk to the people impacted by whatever story you're talking about. So I talked to a couple of pros that you guys will know. One, Jeff Boski, and Marles Barkley, Marley Cordero. So it was good to talk to them via FaceTime, which I'm trying to get better at, actually producing better video quality when it comes to recording on FaceTime. It's not that easy to do, but it's becoming a reality that everyone in news has to kind of adjust to with this. And of course, doing a COVID-19 related story, basically every single day you turn a reporter story. It's the biggest news story of all time, I feel, at this point, and certainly playing itself out that way with regards to my job. So when it comes to producing videos here before the casinos open back up, I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do, but I got a couple of things in mind that I hope to do soon, and hopefully they will reopen here at some point in the near future, and we can get back after it, get some video of some hands, and keep this vlog going. As always, I really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, and we will see you back here next time.